Hey you guys, this is Jess with Sourceful Journey, back with another video. I want to do a quick story time but message video just for others to think about when it comes to getting through this thing called life. This is more so for those who are more so aligned to being what is known as a karmic. And I wrote it on a post-it, so this is why I'm looking down in case you guys are wondering. It's just with the way I worded it, just so you guys can kind of get an idea what the message is behind this. I felt compelled to speak on it, so I'm going to go ahead and do this quick and share my thoughts. And as always, I would like for you guys to share your thoughts as well thereafter, okay? So the message is, be careful attempting to create graves for others that would only lead to you landing into it head first. Let's talk about it. And again, this is more so aligned to those who are viewed as karmic. So be careful with attempting to create graves for others, especially those who have not really done any ill will toward it. Be careful in attempting to do things that are viewed as malicious, that are completely not of the light towards others just because you are hurt, your ego is bruised. Be careful in doing those things or attempting to do it by your own hands, because little do you realize you don't know who you're doing it to. Not only in terms of their physical capabilities, but also in terms of the spiritual, as I often talk about in my videos, you guys. But at the same time, you don't know what type of karma you're racking up now, times 10 if not more, not only for yourself, as I mentioned in a lot of my videos. It can affect you and your entire crew thereafter. And that means not only in present day, but also generations to come. So oftentimes people do these things just because of hurt egos. So I'll give you a quick story time so you can kind of see where I'm going with this. And this was something that was slight. It was slight work. But it was enough to jar this individual up to leave well alone, me being well alone. A lot of us who are in the spiritual space, we understand that we don't really have to do anything directly, physically, when it comes to getting back to those who are karmics or those who are doing things that are not of the light towards us. Part of the reason is because we know, especially if we have a spiritual knowing when it comes to the support team, and we understand what our role was in past lives as well as current. We understand that our hands could be clear and that they're going to take care of the rest. And it never fails. They always do. So I'll give you a quick story. There was this one guy, I was going to say gentleman, but I had to catch myself because he's not a gentleman at all. There were times where I would go to grab my coffee and my breakfast in the morning, as an example. And this individual would try to find ways to, I guess, get me to speak with him, or speak to him, I should say. Just really, in a sense, trying to shoot his shot. And I'm not interested in him. At least not my type. But I guess he felt some type of way about it, to put it plainly. And you can't get mad at individuals just because you're not the type of guy that she likes. So for me, you know, he should have just accepted it for what it was and kept it moving. But he didn't. So it got to a point where he was trying to covertly taunt me whenever I would go to this particular area to go get my breakfast and my coffee in the morning. I started keeping tabs on this. But little did he realize I was being calculative when it came to keeping tabs on him. So this is where one would say that the hunter truly became the hunted. So you have to be careful who you do these type of things to, because you never know what type of support or backing that these individuals have, like myself. So when it comes to pulling strings, where my hands would still be clear, but have others working in the background to make your life a living hell, you have to be careful about that. And he had to find this out the hard way. So I knew exactly who to contact and when to make some things shake in his world. I didn't even have to know his name. Just had to give a description, where he was at, what times he's normally there, what days he's there, what days he's not, what he normally wears. You have to be careful. And I did just that, but I did it in the legal sense. And what do I mean by that? Meaning, when it came to the police district, I knew exactly who to contact and when. And actually, I had a couple of people from within the district who was a bit higher up on the chain to go pay him and his boss a visit. And that's when the games began. They paid him a visit, all right. Let's just say whatever was done or said jarred both of them up, because the owner really didn't do anything wrong. But when you're thinking about the legality side of things and how certain people should be left off limits, let's just say it jarred both of them up to a point where now, not only is that guy afraid to even approach me or look me in the eye, but so is his boss as well. So now it's gotten to a point I could boldly step into their store if they can't turn me away. Not that he ever turned me away. He never did. I never had any issues with the boss. But whatever was said and done at that point from those within the police force, without saying names, it jarred them enough to the point that the boss, the owner of the store, didn't even want to tread waters and test me. And it's sad that it had to get to that point. You see, this is why you have to learn. In some cases, when people are quiet, they tend to say to themselves, learn to leave well alone, well alone. A lot of us tend to operate in that mode for a reason. I have to use the analogy how people keep talking about, like, just you're like a John Wick. I guess you could say to an extent, without all the weapons and everything. But even outside of all that, there's a reason why some of us who tend to be the popular loners tend to operate in such a stealthy way, a mode like no other outside of what we do and our interactions with people in terms of work and all that. There's a reason why we operate the way we do. Not only because we're trying to keep our inner beast still tamed, because the reality of it all, it never goes away. You understand? People need to really take heed to that and understand it. Don't take things for face value and assume that, oh, it's all peaches and sunshine, or that person looked like they wouldn't touch a butterfly, or wouldn't even harm a butterfly, I should say. You don't know what it took for them to get to that point, to where they're now smiling in your face and being all sweet. What really lays beneath the surface, that if awakened, would be a detriment to your entire existence. So the moral of the story, because it's sad that it had to get to that point. Whatever happened, what was said or whatever, it was enough to jar them both. The message to those who fit into that space, who happen to be a karmic and know that they are doing it to anyone in their life. Because a lot of the reality of it all, there's some people who do this stuff knowingly and knowing exactly what they're doing, knowing that it's wrong. Take heed. Be careful with doing that, because you don't know what could come down the pike, both in the physical as well as the spiritual. And I'm going to leave you guys with this point. Please keep in mind going forward, and this is for everyone, whether you're a karmic or not, keep in mind that we, again, are spiritual beings having a human experience. We are spiritual beings having a human experience. When you think about what is running these meat suits that we're in, right? What is it? It's a spirit, right? Please continue to focus on trying to aim to do right by others. Continue to try to aim to do right by others within your day-to-day. But also, do understand that nothing, and I do mean nothing, goes unnoticed. Not only in the physical context, but also with the spiritual. You gotta keep that in mind. There's never a moment where you are not being monitored, you're not being watched in some form or another, especially when it pertains to the spiritual. And that is all for this quick video, you guys. So until next time, I am definitely sending y'all for love and light, and I will see you guys in the next video. Be blessed, everyone.